How you doing, guys? This video was for my friend Steve and his son. They're about to venture off into a mini bike building project, and he wants to widen the frame up a little bit in the back to put a bigger tire on. Actually, I think he's going to widen up a lot. The tire is much bigger than this, so I figured I'd shoot him a quick video to show him what's going on. Okay, the tire he chose, he wasn't sure of the dimensions of it, but I think it's an ATV tire, so it's a little bit wider than this. And I told him he has a couple of options on the way he wants to widen the back of the bike. This one here, basically all I did was widen it. So whatever this is here, it used to be narrow, so I just made the V wider. And I inserted that tire. I wanted everything on the outside. This is still incomplete, just laying on there. Okay, it's not even set to where it has to be. The shaft actually isn't trimmed to full length yet, or to shorten length yet. It's just tacked off so I wouldn't keep hitting it with my ankles back then. I think it's a 16-inch tire, I think it was. I forget now, I'd have to look at it. 16 by 6, I think it was. No, it's a 15 by 6 by 6 is what it is. It's on a racing go-kart wheel. We have a modified racing go-kart axle. We have the modified hanger bearings, which I was trying to explain to him that they don't have to be parallel to each other. You have room for movement because they're self-centering. Okay, I chose to put everything on the outside, if you guys remember. I didn't want to widen the frame any more than it was, but I was explaining to him there's a couple different ways to go about it. A lot of guys come down with the frames and they just cut it straight across. Then they'll run a crossbar out, and then they'll continue on with the frame. So the frame will come and then stagger out. You could do the same with the top. Well, you could just widen this top. I mean, you can widen this top a lot, but you got to widen the frame before you make your mounts for the engines, and then you can widen it as wide as you want. Like I said, I tried to keep the tolerances a little tight, if you guys remember. So basically, the frame is stock. The axle, which is now behind the back tube, used to be in front of the tube and up higher. So we lengthened the wheelbase that way. I widened the frame. I don't remember how much. It's wider on the bottom. It's definitely wider on the top. I think up here was only like an inch, but down there was a little wider than that. I lengthened the forks 6 inches. You can still see because we never finished them. I think there and there. You can see the piece that we put in here. Plus I splined it. Okay, so I wasn't relying on the weld. And I lengthened the tops of them 6 inches. And I also changed the angle here. I made new plates to house these engines. Lengthened the foot pegs a lot. Obviously to clear everything, I think the foot pegs ended here. I think I lengthened them 1.5 inches. Then I inserted solid tube into them. Okay. You know, we made the intakes. I originally had the tunnel ram set up on there, and the carburetors vibrated too much, so I had to bring them tighter in. The carburetors are sitting level at this point. If you guys remember, that was an issue. Okay, so these carburetors were leveled this way and this way when the bike was sitting the way it sits. I still have the top motor plate, which hangs over here now to tie the engines together. I like that plate. When that plate's on there, the engines don't vibrate at all. Zero. Up front, we have a 5-inch wheel from a Manco. That's actually a Manco go-kart wheel and tire. The frame is whatchamacallit. The frame is an ARCO frame. Still has the guy who owns its name on it. I'll cover up part of it. I'll just let you know his name was Ronald. And that's not his last name next to it, that's his middle name. And it actually has his phone number under here. And his address. So I always felt to be cool. if you guys remember, we have all the parts to finish this. I have bought a seat, I have everything, I have the caliber hangs right there. I never made the brackets for it. The only thing I was going to do was I was going to do a nice sissy bar on it, but I couldn't decide how high I wanted the seat. If I wanted this thing to be a low rider, but I knew this you were going to be sitting back over here. You're not sitting up here anymore. That was the other reason for lengthening it, so I could sit above the wheel but back. We got the chain set up, which I never finished. I mean, it's finished, it's functional, but I wanted to thin it down, put some more nice curves on it to make it a little more appealing to the eye. I never did that. But all the stuff works. Did the jack shaft, as you know. And one of the other things left was the exhaust. The 2 3.5s, the heads were shaved. They have 5-horse carburetors on there, so they should be pretty reliable. There's 2 steel sleeve engines, and that's about it on it. So one day we will get this thing completed, just not right now. We have the wagon to button up, and we have Junior's car to work on, so that's another video. But I would like to refire it up with the carburetors like this. But just not right now. So we got a tank for it. Got the nice tank that fits in here. The dual tank. One will feed each carburetor. I have the air cleaners that I bought from a Clinton. All sorts of old stuff. So I think it will be fun. But it just needs too much time that I don't have right now. I mean, I could finish it up, but I don't have the time to beautify it the way I'd like to. And then I would never drive it again, so that would be the end of it. So, like I said, I know this is what he's interested in. Talking about the way the gear setup was. Racing go-kart hub. Racing go-kart sprocket. There's a split sprocket. Okay, I went with this ratio because if you guys remember, I did all the calculations and I didn't want this thing to be 70 miles an hour, but I didn't want it to be 15 either, and I went for a happy medium. And I figured with the amount of horsepower we're gonna have here, we're gonna have at least 8. We should be good to go. And that's it.